Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. It's always a pleasure to meet somebody new. Today, as the title may suggest, I have a new Genre Makers episode for you. What is this, I hear some of you asking? Well, this is where I look at various different games, looking for the ones that define or redefine how we look at a given genre. Today I have one that's kind of really no exception, a game born off a mod that became a full-blown game and influenced, well, a generation of games. In this case, I'd like to go into the Defense of the Ancients, or DOTA for short. We'll talk about its early start, how it became its own thing, and how it influenced its own niche of gaming. So, if you have a minute, sit back and hang out a while as we dig into this one. Now, Defense of the Ancients, or DOTA as it's called, was officially dropped in 2003 and was made by a handful of gamers known only by their handles. Ill, Steve Freak, Nexus, and Ice Frog, respectively, and I think I actually mispronounced a few of those. You see, as mentioned before, this actually wasn't a game in and of itself, but more of a modification of an existing game known as Warcraft 3: Reign of Chaos. Now, this was, as you may or may not know, a continuation of one of Blizzard's earliest and most successful franchises following the war between orcs and humans, but also including two new races, with the Noble Dark Elves and the reanimated forces of the Scourge. This game was one of the first to use hero units in the manner that would become one of the focal points of Dota. Now, that had actually gotten its earliest start, Dota itself, in another Blizzard game called StarCraft, which also had hero units but didn't function quite as these. And more appropriately, even within StarCraft, it was using the Aeon of Strife custom map, which was the core on which a lot of the initial mechanics were actually made for this game type. Once this map was recreated in the engine of Warcraft 3, it actually really started to come into its own when you had all the new flexibility and talents that the heroes themselves had in that game. Dota pretty much defined what we know of as the MOBA genre. This is where you pit two teams of players against one another. Each player in their respective teams controls one of the many heroes in the game, which commonly has 5 players per side, and 112 heroes, at least in the original game. This made for a lot of variables in the game for the players to react to. The main gameplay loop focused on strengthening your hero and controlling one of the lines, which are avenues in which the enemy team can actually challenge the player using their own heroes, or other units on the board to send against them to try to push towards the enemy base and destroy it. Killing other players or AI-controlled units will net experience, which can be used to pick up new skills and to make your hero stronger, allocating you more powerful abilities to slow, stop the enemy advance, being pulled almost directly from Warcraft 3's system, where the player would build a hero altar, summon a hero, given enough resources, and then send them out to combat the enemy forces or kill various different NPCs that littered the board. This would then level that hero up. So the faster that you could do this, the more advantage you'd have in any given encounter that focuses around that hero, as, well, he'll do more damage and have more skills. He'll also be able to take more punishment and, well, cripple the enemy forces exactly just like in Dota. This would eventually spin off into a number of games, the most famous of which would be League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm, which was Blizzard's own take on the genre and one of the last ones to actually come out, which is somewhat ironic given it was one of their properties, actually multiple of them, that enabled the genre to form in the first place. Even Deadlock, Steam's new game, takes a lot of its cues from MOBA games. It just changes their perspective from a more isometric strategy RPG perspective to a more over-the-shoulder third-person perspective that's popular with games like Fortnite. All of this over 20 years past when the original game was released, proving that MOBA and Dota itself has had a huge influence in gaming as a space over a long period of time. However, what do you guys think of this one? Have any of you ever tried one of these? And if so, what did you think of them? Do you have a favorite or a company you'd like to take a crack at one? Do any of you mess with the mobile ones? And if so, which ones? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, if you don't mind, please leave this video a like. And if you see more of my stuff you like, consider following the channel. That actually helps me out a ton. Till we meet again though, have a great rest of your day and happy gaming.